Welcome back to JB Reviews. My name is Justin and we are driving a 2020 Ford Escape. Now normally I probably would never really run to go get keys for a Ford Escape, but when I saw this thing I said, you know what? This is actually a really nice SUV. From the front fascia, I don't know what you guys think, but I think it looks like a Porsche. I kind of think of like a Porsche Cayenne when I see the front headlights. Now the rear end of it, I'm not really sure, what it looks like, but overall, I really like the styling of this, and surprisingly, it actually has a good bit of space. Like, I'm 6 foot, and I feel as though I fit pretty snug inside of here. Now, this is new for 2020. They have a lot of different engine options, hybrids included, and they also have, a nice selection of trim packages. I'm sitting inside of a titanium, which is the highest trim package. I always find myself getting the highest trim package, and then I find myself always getting white. Those are like the two things you will always see on my channel: is a white vehicle at the high trim level, because that's typically all the dealership has. But if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for coming in. What I normally do is I'll do a quick drive in the vehicle, show you guys around the interior and exterior, then I will show you the window sticker, and normally I'll show you the numbers on the door, like for the payload. But in this case, this thing can only tow 3,500 pounds, so I don't know if that's important in this video, but stay tuned. One thing I noticed when I did accelerate was the fact that it did have like a little bit of a delay. Like, I'm gonna hit it right now. One thing I don't like about newer cars is that they're really geared towards fuel efficiency. Now, that's not a bad thing, obviously, but when you are looking to get on an on-ramp, or if you are trying to get around someone, you would like to know that you have the performance you need to get around them. Now, if you... Oh, wow. Wow. Now, if you manually shift it, things get very interesting. So, if you're like me, and you like to be in control of everything in your life, by all means, make sure that you manually shift it before the Escape. It's actually kind of fun. Let's do it again. Wow. I'm doing about 80 miles an hour here on this road in Mexico. And it really does have really smooth performance. Like, I'm going to hit the brakes a little bit. This is really fun to drive. Like, I really find this very entertaining for what I'm driving. I'm not driving a Ford Focus ST or even an RS. I'm driving a Ford Escape. This does have an 8-speed transmission, and it's 2019, almost 2020. Back in the day, 8 speeds was a very busy transmission, simply because the gears were just all over the place. I mean, you would go to pass someone and you could just hear the transmission just thinking. Whereas now, when you're driving, you almost forget that you have 8 gears. I mean, they just do a really good job. The only downside is you can tell that there's a delay in the system when you're going to accelerate. That's the only downside, is that you just kind of have a delay because the transmission is actually just going down to the perfect gear. Whereas back in the day, you could just tell it like it was just going from gear to gear to gear, and that's just not the case on this. Alright, so here's a 0 to 60. Getting in and out of the vehicle is pretty easy. They do give you a smart key system. All you have to do is hit these little rivets here to lock it. Slide your hand into the door and it will unlock it. And of course, you have this system to get in and out of the vehicle. So check out the styling on this thing. This thing is really nice, as I mentioned. All LED headlights. And you're gonna have an LED fog light just below there. These 2 beams are gonna be for your low beam. And as I mentioned, this is gonna be an LED fog light. And you do have a nice accent light that runs on the side there. They do give you a switchback turn signal. So whenever you turn the signal on, you get the orange versus just the white LED. And then this side is going to be your high beams. Really like the way the headlights are designed. I mean, they just did a lot of attention to detail inside of here. I mean, look at that. It's going to be a reflector style housing too. And they just give you like a projector style just below here. but just a really nice front fascia. Looks really aggressive. I mean, and even with the rounded styling too, I mean, this is probably not like a favorite for a lot of people, but this does look timeless too. I could see this looking good for the next 10, 12, 15 years from now. Now, I'm not a huge fan of these tires. I felt like they did add some body roll to the ride of the vehicle, but I mean, overall, I mean, they did pretty well. But if you're going to replace your tires, I probably would go for something a little bit better. But this is riding on some 225/55, and this is going to be a 19-inch wheel. Taking a look at the back too, you do have a really nice rear end too. Just everything just flows really well. Dual exhaust. You do have a, looks like a, is that a class 3 or class 4 receiving hitch? Power lift gate. Nice amount of storage back here too. The seats do fold flat. They give you a full-size spare too. No storage under here though. It's kind of surprising. I'm never really a huge fan of the plastic on the bottom. Would be interested to see how well that, holds up over time. I will say though, having plastic down here is nice because you can replace it, if it starts to wear out. Whereas if you have paint down here, because of course you're gonna get most of your road grime, things like that, paint can kind of deteriorate too over time, and it doesn't look as nice. Overall, like I said, it's not bad, but it's not great. I mean, I probably would prefer something a little bit nicer down there. They do give you parking sensors front and rear. And like I said, if you get the panoramic sunroof, you have a black roof. It looks really nice against the white paint too. Probably white or silver would look really nice with this red. Any color other than black or gray, you can really pick up on that darker roof. If you would like to get a titanium trim, you will get the 2-liter turbocharged EcoBoost motor. It's going to be 4 cylinders. It's going to have 250 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. Now, they do have a 1.5-liter EcoBoost. Now, that's going to be geared more towards fuel economy, and they do have some optional hybrid technologies that you can get, and a plug-in, I believe, too. Make sure you do your research, figure out what's going to work best for you. There's so many different trim packages from S up to this titanium. They have a SE, a SE Sport. Now, what I'm seeing in now, I'm going to show you guys a window sticker here in a second. This is not cheap, so be sure this is something that you like. This is something that I think if you're in the market for something with a little bit of luxury, with a little bit of fun to drive factor, this is going to probably check a lot of boxes for most people. I did notice that the tires were kind of loud and there was a little bit of road noise in here, but that's what you're going to expect in this segment. You're going to have a little bit more road noise, but you are getting a lot packed into this package that you typically have to go up to about 50 to 60 grand to get. On the door card, you do have some diamond shapes on the panel. I like that they give you this matted wood trim and like a tan color to give you like a two-tone look. And they also give you this aluminum for the door handles. Looks really nice, upscale. You do have a 10-speaker sound system, B&O, and it's going to have an additional subwoofer too with those 10 speakers. On the side of the steering wheel here, you do have your light controls. This is going to be for your fog light. You can pop that tailgate open, and you can actually stop it and then put it right back down. You can dim and brighten up your speedometer here. Of course, you're going to have your turn signals on this side. They are one touch. And of course, your windshield wipers are going to be on this side. One thing to point out too back on the door is you have auto up and down for front and rear window too. You are going to have a telescoping steering wheel, so it's going to come in and out, up and down. And as I mentioned too, you just have a really nice center stack here. It really reminds me of the Mazda, and that's a good thing. Mazda and Ford used to be in a joint venture together. I'm pretty sure they still kind of share each other's secrets. And then this is going to be your center console. I like that they give you these little pen holders, one here and then one up top. Now, I don't want to spend too much time in here, but I want to show you guys the screen. Now, this is going to be pretty much everything for audio, navigation. Now, I do not see that they put anything in here for climate, but you do have climate just below down here. Most time they give it to you in both sides, but this, they're making an exception. They're just giving it to you below, and I'm completely okay with that. But navigation is really nice, really clear. Very easy to read the controls here. It looks like it's pretty easy to use too. If you want to set up a destination, it's fairly quick. Not quick as I've seen, but like I said, it's all touchscreen. Now you cannot control this except by touching it. So I would like to see them maybe put like a little toggle, maybe one day in the future. So that way it's just a little bit more easier, because if you have short arms, you know, it'd be kind of hard to kind of keep reaching over to the screen here. But if you hit home up top, it's pretty much going to show you navigation. If you have XM radio or whatever radio station you're on, whether it be FM or AM or X Sirius, shows it here. And then you can add your phone. Phone's pretty easy. You can just add it in. Just go to your Bluetooth settings on your phone. It's pretty easy and quick to do. And jumping over to settings, you can pretty much set up your sound, things like that. Really easy to do, really clear. I don't find that this is a hard vehicle to learn. I mean, I find that it's pretty easy. This is my first time hopping in here, and I'm just kind of going through everything with you. I like that they give you these controls. It does kind of clean up the interior. So a lot of the buttons that you see across the interior, they actually put it in the system on the screen. I noticed that the sunroof is one touch. Now it does not go that far back. That's as far as it's going to go. But you know, at least you do have a panoramic view even in the rear seat there. The door card's pretty much the same in the rear as in the front. And let's just hop in here. I see that you have a handle just below. I wonder if these seats recline. And I just answered my question. It does look like it's already reclined. Now they are going to give you some cup holders, air vents, and they do give you a 150 watt power outlet back here. Let's see if I can fit back in the rear seats. All right, so they do give you a nice indentation right here in the seat. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me close the door. So when I put my knees in, it actually fits pretty comfortably. Now this seat is all the way back. I mean, I'm 6'1", I have long legs. I put the seat back as far as it can go. So I can sit back here for a little bit, maybe for a couple hour trip, and I'll be ready to get out of here. But overall, like I said, nice sunroof. It doesn't go back that far, but that's still good enough. That's about average of what other manufacturers are doing. They do give you LED lights in the rear. If you're big into safety, this does have side curtain airbags. It has seat airbags also for the front and for the rear occupants, I believe, also. And again, just not a bad package here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the window sticker, and then we'll effectively end the video. So now that you've seen the video, let's see how much it's going to cost you. All right, so exterior, this is going to be all of your standard equipment that was going to come with the titanium. Same goes for the interior, functional, safety and security and warranty. And just as an FYI, the exterior color is star white metallic. Interior is going to be sandstone leather seats. So that star white metallic is going to cost $595. It's going to be a tri-coat. And this is actually going to be a class 2 trailer tow package. And this is going to have the 2-liter EcoBoost at no additional cost because it is standard with the titanium. And if you would like to have the premium package, that does add the panoramic vista roof. Base price on this is going to be $36,685 with options. Destination, you're going to have a total price of $40,070. And this is going to be your fuel economy. Plan to get about these numbers on the highway. City's going to probably be around that too. I definitely can tell, if you stay out of the turbo, not hitting the gas too much, you can easily get 31, if not more, on the highway. City, you'll probably get about that with a turbocharged motor because it's kind of hard to stay out of the boost when you're trying to maneuver in and out of traffic there. But again, I hope you guys liked the video. Like I said, I'm really happy I got a chance to drive this and do a review on it because it is such a nice small sport utility that it's something that you have to put on your list if you are in the market for something like this. But again, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.